Okay, what I want to look at now is how we're progressing creating an app in RStudio for GIS. And this is the code that's working so far, and I'll hit stop down here in the console and clear the console. And this is a working code that I'm still trying to modify, but when you want to run it, you select all of it and then hit run app, and then it's going to open up this web browser, and it starts in Pau in France at the Pyrenees. You see the river there. I can toggle to the satellite view, and then I can go in there and find an address. So if I just want Pau in general, then I can hit Pau like that and hit geocode and zoom, and it creates a elevation map. And if I click on this here, I can change the opacity of the elevation map, or should be able to change the opacity. And let's see if I bring it back that way. Sometimes that doesn't work satisfactorily. It's supposed to work, but doesn't always do it. Yeah, it gets darker, particularly on, not on the satellite map, but it works on the OSN map. So that's one thing you can do with it. And then you can go to render 3D terrain, and it'll spit out a window with the 3D terrain, which always seems to be upside down for some reason. So turn it around there. I haven't been able to get it to put a compass that has failed miserably, or to put points of interest or any kind of legend on this. But it does have the 3D landscape rendered. You can do this on several places. So I can go to Manhattan, for example, and geocode and zoom. And there's Manhattan. It seems to center itself on Central Park, which is sort of nice. Let's go again up here and see the satellite view. And there's the top part of Central Park in Harlem. And then you can render that 3D terrain, but you have to then select it here. So you render that, and then boom, there's that Central Park again upside down. That is the elevation there. It also spits out a screenshot for you automatically. And if I then go and I say, well, what about the city Fadma in Morocco? So city Fadma is in the mountains, so it should be much more, much greater elevation. You can see the heat map there, the deepest parts in purple and the lightest parts on the roof of the world, that trail up there in yellow. And again, rendering that, I'd have to pick it there and then render it. And then you see how dramatically different it is. And again, it's upside down, but that's what we're looking at in terms of elevation. So that part's working. We can also come in, it's added a point on the map, and it says elevation layer for city Fadma. If I want to bring in my CSV, I can bring in all those points. So I've got lagoons and Anmeter and Tanquist and Tamici and Agerd and all that. I've got Nimes. I can keep going up. These are all the points that are from the database. Akreem's Women's Cooperative, the Akreem Cemetery is here. Right? So all those different points are available there from this water museum, etc., etc. So that's coming in from the spreadsheet, and you begin to see some of the information showing up down here. So that is what we have. And we have pictures in here, but they're not showing up for some reason. That's of a concern to me that it's not working. If I click on that in New York, again, I don't get any pictures. There's Manhattan, there's that. But I still have my elevation information in there, as you can see. So what I would do then is, like, for example, if I have Mercy University there, I said, well, I have a point for it. What if I get the elevations for it? So go Mercy University, Dobbs Ferry, and then geocode and zoom, and there it goes. And that's got a good elevation map. And then when I render that 3D terrain, I add that to it, and then let's see what comes up. There's the Hudson River over there, and there's the Vickers Creek going in there. Some weird artifacts going on. So that's useful. You can download the snapshot. You can add a point to the map anywhere where you click. So for example, if I go into Mercy and I go to Draper Lane, where my family grew up, that building there, I click on it and it says map clicked right here, and then I can find details and add a point. So I can put in Draper Lane apartment 3B and category, I don't know, work done. And I should be able to upload a photo of it as well to add to the map. So let me go and look at, let me see here. So if I go Draper Lane, Dobbs Ferry, and I go to images, there it is right there. So take that image and save it. So Draper Lane goes into this www folder. That's where it belongs. And then I should be able to browse, CSV points, browse photo, and let's see where that www is, folder. Because I can't seem to find that folder. Why can't I find that folder? Let me pause this for a moment.